Hello and welcome back to Murders on the Yangtze River. Last episode we finished off our first case, and this episode we'll continue with case number 2, Lady in the Wardrobe. I'm interested to see if, some of the minor characters from cases are reappearing, or if it's just gonna be okay, the main characters appear in this case as well, kind of like Phoenix Wright, and everyone else is just someone else. The air outside is indeed much better. Shen, let's go and have some sweet fried dough twists. Didn't you just promise Judge Chung to help him find the coat? Since Afu is willing to help, it is certain that we will soon find Lo Pei's coat. Officer Ma, you needn't arrange for soldiers to search anymore. Okay. I just want to find a reason to go out for a walk. We waited in the court all morning. Lo Shiwen still hasn't awakened. Really boring. If the judge asks, how will you explain yourself? Well, I count on you, Shen. I didn't agree to help. I suddenly lost the mood to look for delicious food. Are you coming or not? Where? Lo Shiwen's house. It was his first crime. There might be clues. Shen, you come up with a direction so clearly. Or what about over here? God bless you. Can we just leave? Who are you? Shen, look! This is Makino bamboo. After carbonization, this type of bamboo can be used to make excellent filaments for lamps. Okay. Shen, that green fish looks so beautiful. This type of fish is called Bangana decora, and it is a unique species found in Hunan province. Wow, it does sound delicious. It would be great to have a fishing rod. Do you also want to eat fish, Shen? I just want to go fishing. Yeah, give me a fishing minigame. Let me make a fishing rod for you, Shen. No, let's investigate the case first. But do we get to fish after? It seems like you went through some internal struggle. Is this actually the direction we're supposed to go? This is a dry well and there are many ants around the edge. The door of Lo Pei's house is tightly locked. There are seals on the door. Okay, this is not the way we're supposed to go. Good. Wouldn't want to accidentally go the right way first. Shen, is this Lo Shiwen's house? That's correct. Sorry, Officer Ma has issued an order that no one is allowed to enter. Soldier, do you remember us? We're the detectives who solved the Lo Pei case this morning. I remember. You're the accomplice. Accomplice is not allowed to enter. Soldier, we were entrusted by Judge Chung to search for evidence. Please let us in. Alright. Go in then. The Lord has instructed if it's Detective Shen investigating the case, we should cooperate. Your words really work. I hadn't checked out everything else yet. Oh, there's a circle drawn on this paper, and there are also many words written on it. This seems to be a pass list of the candidate examination. I'm not sure why it's here, though. Wow, all these people on the list are scholars? The candidate examination is divided into county level, prefectural level, and academy level. This list is for the county level examination. But what, Shen? Nothing. Courtroom. This is not the direction to Lo Xuan's house. But this guy looks interesting. Let's go in then. It's quite hot. Not only is it hot, but it's also very stuffy. It's just the beginning of autumn. Why did he start to burn charcoal? Does Lo Xuan have a weak body, needing to cover himself with a quilt even in the hot summer? Afu, do not make assumptions. Shen, let's finish the search as soon as possible and leave quickly. I'm assuming he burned something. Shen, there are some indentations on this paper that look like handwriting. I see. These are traces left by a fountain pen. Yes, someone used a fountain pen on the table to write something. But the paper with the written words has already been taken. Shen, who is depicted in this portrait? It's Moriarty, the criminal mastermind from the Sherlock Holmes series. Lo Xuan hung the portrait of the criminal mastermind here so he could see him while writing. It seems like he admires him quite a bit. No wonder he became a murderer. The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of the Navy Treaty, and The Case of Identity. Shen, are these all detective novels? Translations of the Sherlock Holmes series written by Arthur Conan Doyle. Shen, don't you think the middle of the bookshelf feels particularly empty? Yes, judging from the imprints on the partition. There used to be some ceramic vessels in the middle of the bookshelf, but they are now gone. I wonder what's in this cabinet. Let's open it and see. Many crumpled papers are falling out. Let's see what is written inside. 30 minutes later. The killer attacked someone with a rod, but it rebounded and knocked himself unconscious. So the victim turned into the killer, and the killer turned into the victim. Shen, it appears that all the crumpled papers in this cabinet are discarded novel manuscripts. Very likely indeed. I didn't expect that Lo Xuan was actually writing novels. Shen, what do you think of his writing? His ideas are unique, but his writing techniques are not yet mature enough. Is writing technique important, Shen? Certainly. If one only has ideas without proper techniques, it is hard to create a good story. Clearly, Lo Xuan was not satisfied with his own writing either. Having crumpled them into paper balls, yet not wanting to discard them. Indeed, Lo Xuan's life seems rather awkward. It seems that someone is helping Lo Xuan improve his writing techniques. These few sheets of paper all have notes written in a delicate and elegant handwriting. Shen, there are some pills in this bottle. Could they be a knockout drug? Let's take a look. Smoking cessation pills? Does this Lo Xuan smoke opium too? That's highly possible. Wow, isn't this a delivery food box from Cow's Snacks? This snack shop is quite famous locally. Let me see what delicious food is in the food box. Afu, don't touch other people's belongings without permission. And don't eat food from a murderer's place. Anyway, Lo Xuan won't be back. What a pity to let it go to waste. I'll take care of it instead. basket of steamed buns. They are all mine. It's so hot here. These buns have stayed here for 6 hours. Be careful, they might be spoiled. Don't worry, Shen. It's not spoiled. These steamed buns are incredibly delicious. This wall is a bit strange. This blank space on the wall seems to be cleaner than the rest. Can you analyze the possible reasons for it? I would assume there was a scroll that was hanging here, considering how it looks. It looks more like that than a portrait or picture of any kind. Any other possibilities? I don't think so. There used to be a calligraphy or a painting hanging on it, but it was recently taken down. Exactly. Shen, there is a newspaper on the ground. This is the report about low pay, but the faces of both people in the photo were repeatedly punctured. This should be an act of venting anger. How much resentment must have been in Lo Shiwen's heart? The wardrobe is locked. And the padlock on top is similar to the one at Lo Pei's house. Chen, should I try to pry it open? If I were Lo Shiwen, I would definitely hide the bloodstained clothes in a wardrobe. Alright, it's up to you. There we go. That's not bloodstained clothes. Well, it is partially bloodstained clothes, just as a person within them. Lady in a Wardrobe, Chapter 2. Shen, a ghost lying in this wardrobe. It's a female body, and she has been dead for some time. Did we see her last night? Mr. Shen, I think I heard someone screaming inside the house. What's this? Another body. Someone died. Could it be Lo Shiwen again? Soldier, let's not rush to conclusions. Allow us to examine the body first. Shen, this is the girl we encountered by the creek last night. I also saw her photo in the newspaper. According to that article, her name is Liu Picheng, editor at the Golden Words Publishing House. She was a longtime partner of Lo Pei, and she was responsible for editing all of his books. How did Miss Liu die? We can only determine that after a thorough examination of the body. The deceased's face is noticeably bruised and swollen, with a blush purple color. It's probably caused by strangulation of the neck and obstruction of blood flow. Blood foam at the corner of her mouth. There's also white powder on the lips. The white powder looks somewhat familiar. Shen, let me take a look. There's a smell of rice. Yes, it is crumbs from a rice cake. Could it be that this girl, like you, ate a rice cake with knockout drugs? It is possible. There is a deep red mark below the throat with localized discoloration and epidermal peeling. There seems to be symptoms of fractured laryngeal cartilage. This is a fatal injury. She was strangled to death. The strangulation mark is thick, long, no sign of finger pressure or crescent-shaped nail marks. It shows a weapon was used. The murderer may have used a rod-like object to strangle the victim. What is this? There are also 2 vertical marks evenly distributed on the surface. Afu, this needs to be documented separately. Got it. The weapon is a rod with 2 vertical marks. Liver mortis was found on the wrist of the body. Abrasions and contusions on the fingertips with minor subcutaneous bleeding. The fingernails and surrounding skin damaged, possibly from scratching or clawing. Common defensive wounds in strangulation cases, suggesting victims struggled before death. That is interesting, because that would mean that they were strangled before being knocked out by the rice cake. Or potentially so long after they'd eaten the rice cake that they've come back to consciousness. Liver mortis is present at the ankles, and there is stiffness present in the toe joints. Her jaw joint, neck muscles, upper limb muscles, and leg joints are all exhibiting rigor mortis. Rigor mortis is spread throughout the whole body. No signs of relaxation yet. How are the results of the investigation? The girl in the wardrobe was strangled by a blunt weapon. The time of her death? Her body shows total rigor mortis with no signs of relaxation. The finger and toe joints are stiff. Preliminary assessment indicates that the victim was killed approximately 14 hours ago. But the time of death can be influenced by various factors. My judgment may not be precise. Can certainly be influenced by temperature, and considering it's very hot in a room, and presumably, well, would it be more hot in the wardrobe or less? It would be more, it would be hotter in the wardrobe if the person in there was still alive, but once they're dead, It will be advisable to have a coroner conduct further examinations for a more accurate analysis. It's good that she did not die during my shift. I wonder when you came on duty. Was there anyone else who rotated shifts with you? Afternoon. Not long before I came on duty. Officer Ma assigned only me to guard. It is currently 2 p.m., which means that you arrived less than 2 hours ago. It seems that you have limited information as well. Then, what should I do next? It's a murder case. Go and report to Judge Chung right away. Shen, what should we do next? We need to reinvestigate this room from the perspective of a crime scene. A wooden bed. Judging from the color of the wood, it has been around for quite some years. Shen, it's really hot in this room. I'll extinguish the charcoal brazier. Shen, look. This is partially burned fabric, isn't it? This is silk. From its color and pattern, it looks the same type of fabric as Lo Pei's lost coat. Could this be the bloodstained clothes we've been looking for? Lo Shiwen was wearing that overcoat when he disguised himself as Lo Pei. The fabric is quite distinctive, so I don't think I could mistakenly identify it. It seems that Lo Shiwen used the charcoal brazier to burn the evidence. There is a possibility of that. Of it, there remain only fragments. But these should be enough to report to Judge Chung. Shen, Look here, I found crucial evidence.
What evidence?
Footprints. They must have been left by the murderer.
How about you take this opportunity to review the method of footprint analysis?
You mentioned a proportional relationship between height and barefoot length. Footprint size doesn't equal barefoot length. We should consider shoe type and features. By subtracting inner and outer differences and allowing for space, you can get the barefoot length. Lastly, multiply the length of the barefoot by 7. Then you can roughly estimate the height of the murderer.
You remember well.
I got it. There are 2 murderers. Their souls are respectively of wave pattern and swastika pattern.
Why did you stop?
I carved the swastika pattern soul for myself a few days ago.
My shoe sole has a wave pattern.
After all, that turns out to be our own footprints. Finding clues is really difficult, isn't it?
All contact leaves traces. This principle applies to detectives as well. When we focused on finding the murderer, we tended to ignore our presence at the scene.
No, today I must regain my dignity. I'm going to investigate every footprint in the house.
30 minutes later.
After searching the entire room, the only footprints I found were mine and yours.
Afu, please record this in the case file.
Oh? You want to record this too?
Sometimes the absence of evidence can be just as important as the presence of evidence.
By the way, how did you know that the steamed buns were delivered 6 hours ago?
It was written on a note next to the box. The 21st, 7:45 AM at the end of the alley, Lowe's house. It is approximately 6 hours ago.
You're really perceptive, Shen. If I had known something like this would happen, I definitely wouldn't have eaten those buns.
How was the taste of the steamed buns at the crime scene?
They were delicious, not spoiled at all. Shen, do you think the marks on the wall are related to this murder case?
I cannot determine any direct connection at the moment, but
it is also possible that there is an indirect connection. I'll also take a note of it.
Good. The cabinet is filled with crumpled, discarded manuscripts. Clearly, No Shiwen is not satisfied with his own writing. But recently someone has been helping him practice writing techniques.
Perhaps someone over here?
There are many detective novels on the bookshelf, including several translated versions of the Sherlock Holmes series. Furthermore, judging from the imprints on the partition, there used to be some ceramic vessels in the middle of the bookshelf, but they are now gone.
The more I think, the more suspicious it is. The words on the paper must be related to the case. It would be great if we could recover the words from the paper.
It's not difficult. You just need to use this.
This. The dust. Shen, is it really possible to do so? How about we continue searching to see if we can find anything else? Okay. I mean, you can do it with the dust. Oh, there's more stuff here.
It's Moriarty, the criminal mastermind of the Sherlock Holmes series. It seems like Liu Shiwen admires him quite a bit. There's a report about low pay in the newspaper. The faces of both people in the photo were punctured. This should be an act of venting anger. Okay, there is nothing else. Then how about we try the charcoal brazier?
Good idea. Perhaps we could apply charcoal to the paper. The indentations can be made visible. I mean, you can do the same with dust. And the dust is not going to burn the paper. The charcoal would. It was burning until well, he searched the room 30 minutes for footprints, but the charcoal is still going to be hot as hell.
Press and hold, and then press that to smear. Okay, I'll just do it with the mouse. Okay. I think this should be good enough.
The words appear. Take a look and see what it says. I got an achievement for covering the entire letter. Books were written by Liu Xiwen. Inadequate. Lope deceived us. Editor responsible. Final ultimatum. If not reported, extraordinary measures. Never tolerate. Many words did not come through clearly. It's fragmented and intermittent.
The text is not complete. This should be the second half of a letter.
It seems that Liu Xiwen is accusing Liu Pei of plagiarizing his book. No, you truly understand. That's mine. It belongs to me. All of this is mine. I see. It's understandable why Liu Xiwen would react that way when being accused. Liu Xiwen also mentioned that the editor had responsibility. Isn't Liu Pei's editor Liu Pixing? Is this the reason why Liu Xiwen killed her?
It is still difficult to make any conclusions now. After another 30 minutes.
Shen, the house has been searched thoroughly. Shen, what should we do next?
Miss Liu was murdered 14 hours ago. The murder occurred around midnight. It's not long after I arrived at Liu Pei's house. It's highly possible that you and I were the last people to see her. Afu, last night, you were in town. Did you notice anything unusual?
After we separated, I went to find the blacksmith Cheng Ta. Then I watched him forge iron all night at the blacksmith's workshop. Finally, we prepared all the repair parts I need. Anything related to the murder case? I really didn't pay attention.
Well, that's normal too.
Jen, let's go and ask the others in town. There might be eyewitnesses.
While it's worth a try, it's unlikely to have eyewitnesses since the case happened late at night. Daytime may offer a better chance to find witnesses.
Daytime? Wasn't the case supposed to have happened at night?
The reason for doing so was revealed to me by the box of steamed buns.
Steamed buns?
The presence of that box inside the house contradicts a certain clue at the scene. I could imagine the brazier again, because of it, you know, Alpha saying they tasted fresh and good, that they might have been kept warm by the warmth of the brazier. That's not a contradiction. the marks on the floor.
Are you referring to the footprints?
Yes, someone brought the steamed buns into the house, but there were no footprints left behind. This is obviously abnormal.
Are you suggesting that someone cleaned up the footprints at the crime scene?
It could be the box deliverer or someone else who entered and left after him. Whoever it is, this person is undoubtedly closely related to the case.
Indeed. Otherwise there would be no need for him to clean up the footprints at the scene.
More than just footprints were cleaned up. Although no signs of a fight were found inside the house, the victim had defensive wounds. Those fighting traces might have been cleaned up as well.
It is highly possible that the murder weapon was also taken away by him.
That's right.
Shen, let's go and find this person right away. Sure. Perhaps we would first visit the cow snack stall?
Want to buy some snacks?
Eating is not the top priority after all. I want to find out what happened to Miss Liu last night. Why was she crying so broken-hearted, and how did she become like this by this morning? Auntie Vu, this is the scene of the crime.
It's really hot in this house, isn't it?
You again. What are you doing here? Of course, we are investigating the crime scene. How dare you? Mr. Shen is overly involved in a matter that should be handled by the officials.
Afu and I discovered the body in the wardrobe, so I couldn't just stand by and do nothing.
It's not even possible to stand by. Who knows if Officer Ma might consider us suspects? If you're truly innocent, I will not accuse you wrongly. Enough idle talk. Hurry up and leave. Oni Vu and I are going to investigate the crime scene.
Mr. Shen, please leave quickly. If Officer Ma sees you, he'd draw his sword again. I have a few questions for you, soldier. I'll leave after asking. Okay, go ahead. Have you seen anyone suspicious, soldier? Everything is normal, except...
Except what?
Old Cho, he was wandering around early in the morning. Is it an old man dressed as a scholar? Yes, he's an old scholar.
Let's go and ask him.
Okay, go ahead. Is the seal on the door pasted by you? Yes, it's me. Can you remember the exact time when you put on the seals? I arrived at noon and first went to post a notice on a wall. I stayed for 15 minutes. Then I came here to put on the seals and stand guard. Soldier, do you know anything about Lo Shiwen? Lo Shiwen is a lazybone. He is ungrateful and vicious. No wonder everyone dislikes him.
Ungrateful and vicious. Had Lo Pei treated Lo Shiwen well?
Lo Shiwen doesn't work, usually. Lo Pei provides him with food and clothes and a place to live in.
Did Lo Pei do this because his articles were actually written by Lo Shiwen?
Lo Pei is a great writer. He's the pride of our Harrow town. Even children don't bother to read what Lo Shiwen writes.
Okay. Can we think about any of the doubts? Shen, these vertical marks look like some sort of decorative pattern or rod. What kind of rod would have such vertical marks on it?
I can't think of anything right now either. During the investigation, we need to pay special attention. Some kind of ceremonial staff, maybe? Shen, how should we locate the person who cleaned up the scene? Let's visit the town and inquire. There might be valuable information. The buns were delivered to Lo Shiwen's at 7:45. And soldier arrived to guard the door 2 hours before, which is at noon. Wait, huh? I think there's a little bit missing there. He arrived 2 hours before we arrived at the crime scene, not 2 hours before the buns were delivered. The suspect must have entered and left the house during this time period. During the daytime, there is also a higher probability of witnesses. Do the crumbs on her mouth suggest that she had also eaten the rice cake? In theory, that's correct. It seems the methods in both cases are similar first. First incapacitation, then the killing. Her hands show clear signs of defensive wounds, indicating she struggled before death. This is different from Lo Pei's situation. Oh, really? Does that mean she didn't actually eat the rice cake? Or the rice cake she ate didn't contain any knockout drugs? Or she was strangled after regaining consciousness? Both possibilities are plausible. At least the victim was not strangled while in a state of unconsciousness. The role of the rice cake in this case needs further investigation. Shen, did you notice a peculiar symbol at the signature of the letter? Yes, I noticed it too, but now we are still not sure what it represents. We need to find more clues. Shen, during our inquiries in the town, is it necessary for us to focus on understanding Miss Liu's interpersonal relationships as well? You're right. That is a good starting point. Golden Words Publishing House is in Yangzhou, and Miss Liu doesn't seem to be a local person either. Her interpersonal relationships here should be relatively simple. There is a chance to find someone with a motive for murder. Your heart is filled with sorrow. His nephew is the murderer. Young lad, this is incredible. A ray of enlightenment is bursting from your eyes. You are truly a natural genius in reasoning. Did I really have such remarkable talent all along? Indeed, I, Hu Lao Kuai, have never misjudged anyone's abilities. If we could unlock the reasoning pathway in your mind, imagine the heights you could reach. How can I unlock the pathway to reasoning? You're lucky that I just opened my stall today and you happened to come by. Read 10 detective novels from my stall and you'll become the reincarnated Master Lo II. Mr. Hu, we are investigating the murder at Lo Shiwen's house. May I ask you some questions? Sure, go ahead. Mr. Hu, you haven't told me how to unlock my pathway to reasoning yet. I selected a set of books for you. Once you finish them, you'll become a master of reasoning. You can start with these detective novels. Once you have gained some experience, you can start reading Sherlock Holmes. Save Master Lo's books for later, as they are more advanced and require deeper understanding. Remember, it's not enough to just read once. You must read attentively, closely, and repeatedly.
As long as I read all of them, will I become a detective as skilled as Shen?
Of course. I, Hu Lao Kuai, never lie. Would I sell books outside the court if I lied? Yes, potentially. Soldiers from the court often buy books from me. Each of them has a copy of Master Lu's book. Especially Officer Ma. He buys at least 10 copies whenever Master Lu releases a new book. Otherwise, could he become the sergeant? Sure, okay. Do you know Liu Pisheng? Are you referring to Miss Liu, the editor of Golden Words Publishing House? Master Lu's achievements today are largely due to Miss Liu's insight. I still have her business card.
Did Miss Liu know many people in the town? Has she ever had conflicts with anyone?
I'm not sure about that. After all, I'm just a bookseller. How much do you know about Lu Shiwen? That ungrateful brat is the biggest mistake in Master Lu's life. Master Lu just spoiled him too much. That's why. What do you mean by that? He is completely dependent on Master Lu for his livelihood, yet he spoke evil of Master Lu. It seems like he feels Master Lu owes him something.
Is it because he thought that Master Lu's works were written by him?
Just a few days ago, he even claimed that Master Lu would put his name on the novel. He doesn't deserve it.
What was Master Lu's reaction to this?
Master Lu simply smiled it off.
Is it possible that Lu Shiwen was telling the truth?
Young lad, you have no idea what he could write. Once he bragged near my bookstall. I couldn't stand it, so I let him write something. He struggled to write even a few words for a long time and eventually went into a fit. Sure, oh right. No more questions. The blacksmith. Oh, really?
Cheng Ta, this is the detective Mr. Shen that I mentioned. Shen, this is the blacksmith Cheng Ta. He's highly skilled in ironwork.
Cheng Ta, I would appreciate your help with the boat repair parts.
You're welcome. Cheng Ta, we are looking into the murder case at Lu's house. Could we ask you some questions?
Oh. Go ahead.
I wonder if you've seen a rod with such vertical stripes, Cheng Ta.
Rod? Not a clue. Vertical stripes. Looks familiar.
Please tell us right now, what is this pattern?
Vertical stripes. Definitely seen them before. Can't remember right now.
Well, Cheng Ta, last night when you were making the parts for me, I came across a small booklet. The booklet had many illustrations of various weapons.
Ironwork manual. Take it.
Thank you, Cheng Ta. Shen, the recent orders and blueprints of the blacksmith are all in here. It also has the customer's information.
Can Cheng Ta the blacksmith write?
I heard from Cheng Ta he came from a rich family and even attended a private school for a few years. Later, his father smoked opium. He couldn't afford schooling and learned from a blacksmith.
Let's see what's inside.
The old bamboo dealer requested to reinforce the handle of the bamboo cutting knife. Chang planned to give an oxtail sword, adding 2 copper rings and cloud engravings.
These things look a little bit like stripes.
Maybe they're a bit too thick. Mr. Cow requested adding a rolling axis on a rolling pin to make dough rolling easier. Lope wanted to order a sharp, short dagger for self-defense, the one stuck in his chest. Ma brought his arm guards for improvement. Vertical stripes. Chung Ta suggested adding vertical stripes. Judge Chang ordered an improved hoe to boost farming efficiency. The following pages are all about choppers, farm tools, and so on. Nothing special. And I like... Okay. Wait, other direction. Okay, I've already gone through that. Chang Ta, do you know anything about Lo Shiwen?
An eccentric and unpredictable person.
It seems Lo Shiwen has a really bad reputation in town. Even Chang Ta doesn't like him.
I wonder why everyone dislikes Lo Shiwen. He always claims that Lope's books were written by him. Or by his words. Oh. Chang Ta, do you know Liu Picheng? No, I don't.
Okay. Oh, bamboo cutting knife. There's a bamboo cutter standing in the corner, and on its handle are tied 2 iron hoops. The murder weapon is a rod with 2 vertical stripes. Could it be the handle of the bamboo cutter?
We can compare them to see.
I mean, no. The shape of the stripes is quite similar, but the spacing is inconsistent. The length of the handle is also not enough. Chen, this is Cow Snacks. I can already smell the delightful aroma coming from the steamer.
Let's go and have a chat. What would you like to order? Buns, cake, fried twists and noodle, wonton, tofu curd. No tasty, no penny. We're detectives investigating the murder case at Lowe's house. May I ask you some questions? Feel free to ask, and I'll definitely cooperate.
Your steamed buns are so delicious. Is there a secret technique?
Good steamed buns must be made with meat in good condition.
Did Lo Shiwen often come here to buy steamed buns?
Lo Shiwen is our regular customer. Usually he prepaid for 5 days worth of steamed buns. We delivered them to him every morning. Were the steamed buns delivered to his house this morning different from those on other days? No difference. They were all freshly made. But I heard that he has been arrested, so should we still deliver to him tomorrow?
This is indeed a big problem. How about this? You deliver them to the court instead.
Can you manage both the business of the stall and food deliveries at the same time?
Young the errand runner, takes care of all the delivery orders.
Where is Young now?
He is delivering rice noodles to those soldiers.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Cow.
Feel free to ask.
Yeah. Mr. Cow, how much do you know about Lo Shiwen?
You know his uncle Lope is a renowned writer, right? Our town, Peru Town, was renamed because of him. Business in our small shops has been booming due to the influx of readers attracted to our town.
Please tell us what you know about Lo Shiwen.
Alas, Master Lo was highly esteemed, but never expected to end up with such an incompetent nephew. Lo Shiwen, a scholar, has passed the imperial examination. After the exam system was abolished, Lo Shiwen turned to opium in despair and lost everything. If it weren't for Master Lo taking him in and helping him quit smoking, I'm afraid he would... murder someone? Oh wait. Opium is really evil.
Did Lo Shiwen quit opium later?
So I hear, but he still needs to take opium cessation drugs daily. Those drugs were also purchased for him by Lo Pei. Indeed, it sounds like Lo Pei has treated Lo Shiwen quite well. Having such a good uncle was truly a blessing. Unfortunately, he's very ungrateful.
Yeah, so I've heard. I wonder if you know Liu Picheng.
Liu Picheng? Oh, you were referring to Miss Liu. That's right, it's her. Master Lo accompanied her to my stall several times to buy rice cakes. I've also seen her and Master Lo taking a photo together, right at the entrance of that alley.
How is Miss Liu's relationship with others?
She should only have one acquaintance in the town, Master Lo.
Has Miss Liu had any conflicts with anyone?
I know nothing about that. Mr. Cow, please try to recall more carefully and see if you remember anything. Why don't you go and ask my son? Miss Liu occasionally played with my son, so he might know her better.
I wonder where your son is now.
At this time, he should be playing by the creek. My son's name is Cao Tian, wearing yellow clothes. Go and try to find him. Okay. By the creek, I assume he means the other direction, yes. His commander said no. Oh no. Okay, let's go over to the... Oh, did something happen? Afu, what's wrong? I suddenly remembered the business card I saw earlier. The seal on it looks somewhat familiar to me.
Yes, there is a similar shape on this piece of evidence.
Chen, where's the similar shape? I think I just showed him the business card he showed me. He's like, hey, look at this business card that I give you. There's a similar shape somewhere in our evidence. And we're like taking the business card and handing it back to him like, yes, here it is. There's a similar thing in the blacksmith manual. Wait, is there not? I mean, there is a stamp on it. Okay, never mind then. We need something more similar. I mean, I guess you can only mean the letter? Even though there is none on the letter. Ah, so it was the letter. Ah, okay, the outline of it.
Yes, the outline of the seal matches perfectly with the symbol at the end of the letter.
I'm curious now,
Does the outline of this match? It doesn't to be there.
Yes, that means the strange symbol is the imprint left by the seal on the back of the paper.
Exactly.
Chen, if the person who wrote the letter is Miss Liu, wouldn't the whole situation be reversed?
Very likely indeed. Inadequate in the letter doesn't refer to Lo Shiwen, but Lo Pei. Editor, responsible, actually means Miss Liu felt sorry for her fault.
It means Miss Liu wrote the letter to the publishing house, seeking justice for Lo Shiwen.
Not only that, but there are also annotations in a delicate handwriting on many of the discarded manuscripts. The handwriting in the annotations is the same as the handwriting in the letter.
So, the person who was revisiting Lo Shiwen's manuscripts was Miss Liu after all.